I'm ready to see this Corey Brown that
Corey Brown
Lewan's talking about.
Taylor Lewan's got us a new player. It's a good thing.
Absolutely.
Oh, Corey Brown.
Corey Brown.
Jim Ryan will be writing about Corey Brown, won't you? All right. So we made some news this week. Something that I think most Titan fans were thrilled about. Ryan Suckup signed to an extension. Titans kicker, talk about that decision to go ahead and do that.
Yeah, he's made a lot of big kicks for us. He's helped control the field position with our kickoff coverage, and you know he's been a cornerstone piece for us in the kicking game. So we wanted to keep him around here for a while.
All right, good news there. This is certainly a time where much is happening. The NFL Combine is this week. Free agency is less than 3 weeks away. On track for the draft, which is 9 weeks away at this point. Everybody says to you, oh, it's your busy time. But you and the personnel staff have been preparing to get ready for all of this since July?
Yeah, there's really only about 3 weeks in the summer when it's not busy time for us. But yeah, our college scouts have been on the road all fall, going to games, going to practices, visiting with coaches, strength coaches, trainers, gathering information on these prospects. We had a round of draft meetings in December where we talked through the prospects, went to the All-Star games and the Senior Bowl and the East-West Shrine game, and then they just left this past weekend after another round of meetings to talk about the players in preparation for the Combine.
At Indianapolis, we know that the players run and jump and lift, but they also go through interviews at night. Over a 4-night period, you get to do 60 15-minute interviews. How do you choose which 60 players the Titans are going to interview in Indianapolis?
Yeah, myself, our player personnel director, Ryan Cowden, and our college scouting director, John Salge, we sit down, look at the draft board. A lot of it's logistically based. There may be a player that's, at a small school out on the West Coast or way up, on the East Coast that it's kind of tough for us to get to. So let's spend 15 minutes with them there in Indy and get to know those guys. There's guys that we won't talk to at Indy that we'll spend time with at some point this spring. But the league only gives us 60, so we do our best to get the best 60 in there.
What is John Robinson like during those interviews?
A real peach. No, we've got some. You hear these crazy stories at the Combine of teams, dumping out a bucket of Lincoln Logs and having them put together and see how quick they can put it together. Or what. We just try to get to know the player. We know that some of the players that we talk to may have some things in their life that were tough, or may have had some off the field. We try to get the background and try to create the profile on the player so that we're as informed as possible on draft day.
We know, most of us who follow the draft know all the first rounders, but you have, and you certainly hit on first rounders. Your 3 first-round picks have done great, but you've hit on 3 fifth-round picks. Tajay Sharp, LaShawn Sims, and this year Jayon Brown. How do you find Titans, not just in the first round, but in the 5th round? How do you identify those guys so deep in the draft?
Well, I think it's a team effort. It's our scouting staff. That's part of my charge is to teach the scouts what we're looking for in players, the characteristics that we're looking for off the field, the skills and abilities that we're looking for on the field, and equip those guys to go out and identify the players that are going to fit our locker room, that are going to fit our culture and play our style of football. Coach Vrabel's already talked about it. We've talked about it. It's about getting the right 53 guys on the team, not necessarily the most talented 53 guys on the team. So we scout them, whether they're first-round guys or 7th-round guys. It doesn't matter. Where you get drafted, it's getting the evaluation right on the player.
Let me ask a first-round question, though. I want to ask, how different is it going to be for you in terms of how you handle the first round, picking 25th instead of picking in the top 10?
I'll probably eat a lot more heading up before I pick. No, we'll certainly have a lot more time to just kind of sit back and watch. But we'll be aggressive as well. I mean, if there's a player that we really, maybe we thought he was going to go in the top 10, and for whatever reason he's slipping down the board, we'll try to position ourselves to maybe acquire the guy, or if we get action on our pick at 25 and a team wants to come up to our pick so that we trade back, I think I have proven that I'm willing to trade. So my phone line is always open.
Free agency, you found starters, you found backups, you found special teams players throughout the course of the draft. You've been able to dig in different places and grab them. How different is it finding titans in free agency compared to finding titans in the draft, or is it?
Yeah, it's we really rely on our college scouting reports, because those guys that played for other teams for 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 years, whatever it is, ever how old the player is. And with the college guys, you really get a chance to sit down and talk with those guys. So when you get them, they're very young and they're very green, and you can kind of take their makeup that they're already instilled in them and groom them to how you want them. The free agent personalities are a little different, so you have to be cautious a little bit, but at the end of the day, we're looking for productive players. We're looking for guys that are going to come in and be about what we're about, and that's the approach that we've taken the last 2 off seasons, and the same approach we'll take this year.
Care to share your free agency plan with the Titans season ticket members tonight?
Are you serious, Clark? Good football players, that's what we're looking for.
Right.
As many as we can get.
Here's one that I always get. You got, say, $40 to $50 million to spend in free agency, just hypothetically. Why don't you spend it all? Why save it? Why not just go out and, like you're going shopping, just spend it down like Bob Barker's there till you just have $1 left?
Yeah, it'd be tough to do. You've got to be judicious with how you're going to allocate the funds, because you never know if a player may become available via trade, and you might send a pick to a team for a player that you really didn't know was going to become available, and you've got to inherit that salary. There's players that you're going to want to re-sign along the way. So you can't just push all your chips in there on the table. You've got to be selective and try to make the right decisions for the football team.
You have really developed this roster over the last 2 years, and I know you won't talk about it yourself, but I do want to ask you a personal question in relation to the development of the roster. What are you most proud of about this organization and this roster of players right now?
Really, from the players' standpoint, it's the buy-in that we've gotten from those guys. When we started talking about the tough-minded, the team first, the dependable guys, and that's the guys that we set out to get, and the guys that were on the team when we got here, they bought in. It's a very, very tight locker room. It's a bunch of guys that really care about each other, that care about this city, that care about our fan base, and they just want to win.
Why is Mike Vrabel the right coach for this group of Tennessee Titans?
Well, I think he embodies all those things I just talked about. He's a team first guy. I worked with him in New England. Him as a player, I was a scout. I saw how he went about his daily tasks as a player, and then watch him quickly climb the coaching ranks once he decided to be a coach. He's extremely intelligent, offensively, defensively, and in the kicking game. He said it on his interview. He's sat in every seat that our players have sat in. He's been a special teams guy. He's played on offense. He's played on defense. He's been a rookie. He's been a Pro Bowl guy. He's done everything that he's going to ask our players to do, and he's got a ton of juice. He's going to bring a lot of energy to the football team, and we're really excited. When I was blessed that Amy and her family gave me the opportunity to come home 2 years ago, and I told you that we were going to roll our sleeves up and go to work for you, the fans. And when I walk out of that tunnel and see the two-tone blue, the chill bumps and the little hairs on the back of my neck, they go up every single game. And I just want to thank each and every one of you for your support. Thank you for what you do for this city and for this team. And there's exciting things on the horizon. So tighten up.